healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Wow, look, that is our photo from 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Look at us. We've grown and changed so much.
I just threw that shirt out.
I threw my shirt out too. My green shirt had a stain on it, and I was wearing it, but it was an oil stain, a big, so you get an oil stain and you don't notice that you have it sometimes until you're out. Just
right. It's just like a watermark on your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody can copyright it.
Hello and welcome to Lady Journey, everybody. This is our podcast. We've been doing this podcast for almost 4 years. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Do we have any? Oh, thank you.
Any lady journeyers?
Any journeyers here? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for coming. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you for coming. We have an amazing guest today, Andy Haynes.
Andy, the wonderful comic, Andy Haynes.
Not a lady. Not a lady, but a lady at heart.
Lady at heart.
Definitely lady adjacent.
Oh, yeah.
I have
Yeah.
strong female presence in my entire life.
You do. And you do a lot of lady journeys. First of all, you're the primary caregiver.
I am a primary caregiver.
And that's usually a task reserved for women.
Yes.
Although I do want to, I don't want to act, it's a little bit stolen valor because we do have a nanny who does a lot of the real hard stuff. You know?
Yeah.
We're getting a little feedback. I wonder if that's maybe...
I can turn it down.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's good.
See, that's the masculine
That's
energy.
the masculine. Yeah, thank you. Andy's our tech person. That's why we have men on this show.
Into open jars.
I think it's Sarah's mic, actually. I wonder if...
Am I too, I feel like I'm really loud.
I think it's just because you're closer to the amp. Oh, thank you. Another man helping.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Let's have a round of applause.
For
there we
men.
go. Yep, that's going to take care of it. Yes.
Wow.
A round of applause for that shirt. My goodness.
Whoa.
Wow. Someone's married. Okay. So, Andy, I thought you would be really fun to have as a guest because obviously you're not a lady, as we've already discussed, but you are a girl dad. Mm-hmm. And
Yes.
this is, as a man, this has got to be a big journey into the feminine for you. Like, what is it like being a girl dad?
It's great. I really, I don't know, can I be a little crass?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Yeah. You just can't say the C word because then we'll get blocked on YouTube.
Okay,
We can't monetize.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that I don't have to clean a baby scrotum. And Sarah does.
That's really weird because I think the opposite. I find it easy to clean a scrotum, but I've never cleaned the other.
Yeah, I do feel like...
But there seems to be. I've cleaned myself.
Yeah,
and
of course. We always...
There's lots of folds.
We lost that
and-
lady. When we started
Oh,
talking
she's
about
gone.
we started talking about
lost someone,
scrotum.
yeah.
She said, "I'm out of here.
Sorry,
this
no,
is way
this is
too male."
This is in a medical context. Okay, these are two parents just sharing diapering
Talking about her kids' genitals.
methods. But we will put this online, and so of course on YouTube, a creeper will find this.
Right.
But
He'll
I
make
do want to say, sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I was raised by women and gays, so this is not my first. I'm not like going from the NFL to.
Right. No
Yes.
whiplash is happening.
It's very normal for me to be dominated and controlled by women and their energies. And,
So here you are again. The cycle continues.
Yeah. Hair on the shower wall my entire life.
Yes, that is true. My son just found a hairball while playing hide and seek.
I saw the video. It was the cutest thing.
Yeah, he's
I've ever
cleaning
seen.
while he's hiding.
Well, Sarah's husband is like, where's the baby? And he pulls the coat back and the baby's coming up and he just has a giant dust bunny in his hand. So
That's gross.
funny. But I feel like, because as you know, I was a preschool teacher for a long time and I did always feel like I notice a lot of differences between little girls and little boys in that little girls are more socialized to be quiet. You know, a lot of like little boys will scream and they'll run around and it gets kind of like, oh, boys will be boys. Oh, they're just running around. And the little girls, it's like, you be quiet, you sit down. And
Right.
often the way girl children develop, this is science, this is not, like, they are more socially capable. You know, that's why they always say, like, girls mature faster than
Yes.
boys. It's not really, it's only socially they're maturing faster. But
Right. Well, I try not to put like gender, whatever stereotypes on my
Yeah.
kid, but
Yeah.
at the same time when I'm with them, I'm like, he's a total bro.
he loves trucks. he loves trucks, which is insane.
Right. I'm not like hiding stuff from him, being like, you don't play with. He had a doll the other day and he kissed it, and I thought that was sweet.
Daddy.
Yeah.
He's
Single
a young
father.
dad, teen
Oh my
dad.
God. Single father.
But do you have that with Minnow?
Minnow's kind of a bro. Minnow's
Yeah.
my
Interesting.
daughter is the same age as Marty, basically.
Yeah, a few days.
And she's 35 pounds, still bald, and
But she's got a great face.
yeah,
She's got a great face.
She's a beautiful child, but she's a jackhammer, dude. She runs through stuff. She
Right.
punches me in the face.
You guys should dress her
that
as
grip.
Sinead O'Connor for Halloween.
Yeah,
That would
and
be a
rip
cute
the-
one
the
with that
new
bald
Pope's-
head.
Yeah, have her tear up the Pope Leo's picture.
Chicago Pope. I call him the deep dish Pope.
Because we went to Marty's birthday party and you were there with Minnow, and I could tell that she had a very strong energy. I was like, I wish I had the confidence of that 1-year-old baby, because she was just dominating. She went over to another picnic, just started stealing the toys. There was like a group of geese, and she was just going head first into the geese, which it's like those. I mean, they will bite. I've been bitten by a goose.
I don't like geese.
She hates Canadians. She's
Yeah,
really
she does.
anti-
Of course.
those
Of
geese.
course. But I remember I had a couple little girl students who were, had stronger personalities, I would say, just kind of yelling, bossy. And it's when you're a parent or when you're somebody in charge of kids, it's always easier to take that choice of being like, you be quiet, sit down, nap time, which we did. We did a lot of nap time.
Right.
Okay, I'm like, nap time, 3 hours and time to get picked up. But I feel like
You're like, I love you, but I love you more when you're asleep for like 5
Yeah.
hours.
They'd be like, can we get up from the nap? I'm like, no, it's only been 5 minutes. We play little robots power charging on the rug. But I feel like that's actually true. I didn't do that as much as my one co-teacher did. It was just the entire day was a nap. But I feel like it's so much easier to kind of be in a role of a loud child by dominating them, just being kind of controlling and telling them to sit down. But it's so hard with girls because it's like you kind of want them to be loud. You want them to, you don't want to squash that in them to make them more socially acceptable, even if it means their life is going to be harder in the long run.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you know my wife. My wife
Yes.
is
Yeah.
kind of already the man of the house, as I've spoken about.
Yes.
And-
She's done the pod.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
she has done it.
Free baby. That was in her cherish era.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's definitely like, we're trying to build her to be a confident, loud young woman with a lot of opinions and all that.
Oh, nice.
Today she told Alexa to play "Shake It Off," which I was pretty proud of. That's
That
pretty
is a
good for
big
20
one.
months.
That is
Yeah.
a power song.
Yeah.
Right.
My power song of 2010. Just running around the East Village,
Shaking
hammered.
It off.
Yeah.
shaking
She got a
something.
lot of off. Yeah. I'm actually impressed that she's aware of Alexa because I'm waiting for that milestone to happen with Marty.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad because she'll probably tell Alexa to turn on our lights and stuff in the middle of the night.
Right. And
She'll be like, "I'm awake. Turn on the lights. The whole house. Play Shake It Off." It's 2 a.m.
I know. Because anyone can control Alexa. That's the annoying part. Like anyone in the house can talk to her. I don't know the settings that you can be like, just listen to my voice.
Although my
yeah.
nanny has a strong Filipina accent, and so Alexa a lot of times doesn't know what's going on.
Oh
Right.
my gosh, she's racist.
Yeah.
Surprise,
Knew it.
surprise.
But Alexa, your joke about Alexa not acknowledging you, is that no, that I'm sorry, I'm confusing that joke with someone else. But Alexa doesn't
I talk rude
acknowledge
to mine. I talk really rude to mine.
But Alexa won't acknowledge Rosebud.
Oh,
And she'll-
really?
Yeah, she'll ignore her, and then I'll be like, Alexa, and she'll be like, "Yes, honey."
Wow, it's a man's
I just
world
like a
out
male's
there.
tone. Well, there is a whole article about how things are made for men more ergonomically.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
but
like-
I feel like that's the same thing as people always talk about how left-handed people die from things being made for right-handed.
Right,
They accidentally cut themselves with the scissors.
And I'm
That's
I'm
it.
lefted-handed and I'm still alive.
God bless.
God bless.
I'm not
Do you get mad about that?
No, that would be insane to get mad. It's not. I'm not reaching for doors and I'm like, this world is so unfair.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get super political because we don't do that. But that is so funny. I do think about left-handed people when they're a lot of times in a workplace. They're like, when people are like, this isn't catered to me. I'm like, we don't even cater to left-handed people.
No, I don't have any. I don't do much. I don't give much credence to any of the small activist groups, left-handed people, circumcision activists.
That's what I was
Right.
thinking next. Yeah.
I
Those
hit that
guys.
beehive a few days ago.
You online?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're funny.
That's where they do their activism primarily, online.
Right.
Well, they
Reaching
do
the
show up
masses.
places with red marks on their crotch. I don't know if you guys get them in Vail. Probably not a huge.
The male
Yeah.
circum.
They don't vacation that often.
Yeah,
they,
the
don't
alt-
have, they don't
yeah,
have the
they're too
time.
busy.
They don't have
They
the
gotta-
time. Yeah.
They have to go to a street fair in New York and stand with bloodied white trousers. They
Yeah.
don't even know what we're talking about. They're like, what?
Yeah, welcome.
Did you guys watch The
Yes.
Leftovers? Very much the vibe of the cult on The Leftover. What were they called?
I never watched that HBO
Never watched
show.
it.
I
Couldn't
didn't get to it.
Couldn't get
It
into
was
it.
pretty good. Justin Theroux, real hottie.
He is a real.
I'm gonna
he is a
try it
real
again.
hottie.
I'm gonna try it again.
I got there's just a lot of HBO shows where you're like, I don't know why I didn't get into that. Maybe not
I've-
enough incest for me.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've tried to watch The Wire 18 times, and I'm like, when is there going to be incest to draw me in?
Yeah. It's unfair.
Give me anal.
Yeah, that's all I ask.
I think there is anal in The Wire.
I
'cause
wouldn't
there's a lot
doubt
of
it.
prison.
Oh, there's prison.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
It was like,
Well, moving on. No, Andy, I wanted to talk to you about because you're a skier, and we've never had anybody that does.
are you a skiing family? Because we've talked about skiing.
I'm
You
a
feel like
broken skiing family. I come from
Right.
Yeah.
A broken skiing family.
both sides ski.
No.
One side.
Mother was like just a
Mother.
mom was she was a little bit hoardery. She had like a stack of newspapers she's been meaning to read since the 80s.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But mom is as dour as they come. Kind of just like Ann Dowd, the actress.
Yes.
Yeah, she's got like Ann Dowd indie role level of dourness.
Okay.
Like this is my mom. I get free tickets to like a concert, and she goes, "Well, the parking is going to be awful." That's like her response.
right.
That's
So
fun.
she was taking me to the ski bus begrudgingly, but Dad had an RV that he took up, and we parked on
He's
the weekends.
the get your telescope out.
Yeah.
Daddy kisses.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I just spoke to him. He's pretty happy. He's
Yeah.
my dad, it makes because I've always been like a snob, and I've always been of the like, oh, I gotta like watch the art house film, and I gotta do this, like go to the cool restaurant. And my dad's going to like Panda Express or PF Chang's, and he's watching America's Got Talents,
It's a lovely life.
and he's so much happier than anybody I know in New York City.
I love it. I love an Outback Steakhouse. I'll tell you that.
So much easier.
It delivers every time.
It's like taking
Yeah.
a Xanax as a lifestyle.
No,
Right.
It is just kind of committing to being basic and being like, I just like Starbucks and I won't go anywhere else. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's good.
Yeah.
It seems nice. They're just like, wow, these twins can juggle. This is
Right.
crazy. Highlight of my day.
But in terms of, we were talking in the car a little bit on the way up here. You go on trips. You go on like skiing trips often, right?
Well, I did not. This is like the first year, I think, in my 41-year skiing career of not skiing. I think I probably didn't ski a little bit when I lived in like
a little
DC.
paternity leave, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was just hard to bring a 1-year-old. I tried, and it was like a 2-hour drive.
You
and
can't do like a baby low.
you can't do that.
slope
'cause-
with them on the
But I
front.
bought her ski boots.
Okay.
She has little ski
You
boots.
can't put skis on a Duna.
No, but I'm going to bring her.
Stroller down the hill. On the bunny slope, of course.
This is probably sacrilege to everybody here, but there's an indoor ski area in New Jersey that I'm going to bring her to.
Oh, wow. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called American Dream. And I think it's called Big Hill, maybe, is the ski resort. But I'm
I've
going to
never
take her
been there.
there,
Yeah.
do some skiing in July type of situation.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's like a Christmas and July situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I have never been on a ski trip. Of course, I've been to Vail before, but I just love the idea of going skiing, not to ski, but just to a winter trip, a winter vacation. There's something so like
It feels rich.
It's
romantic.
so
It's like,
nice.
I'm
yeah.
Oh my
rich.
God. I'm in the hot tub.
All ski
And it's
resorts-
cold outside. This is
Ooh.
against
Cocoa.
God's plan.
Hot apple cider.
You're wearing
Yeah.
like a puffy fur thing.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, I
Yes.
have a full suit.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
it's
going down
snatched
the
at the
mountain.
waist.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
cinched, of course.
Yes.
My husband's carrying the luggage.
Does he have like a kind of like a Navajo print kind of jacket on.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he's got this shirt that guy had on. I picked it out for him.
wow.
The flower. Yeah.
I actually think the last time that I came up here, I rented like a van with a bed and a kitchen in it.
Oh,
And I
cool.
toured the Rockies and Montana and Utah, and I did not plan it very well because the van did not have heat in it.
Oh, you did like
Wow.
a nomad.
So I did my
situation.
show here, and then I went to go find a place to park the van, and it was 7 degrees outside, which means it was 7 degrees inside the van. And
Wow.
yeah, they didn't tell me it didn't have heat when I rented it. They just handed me like a space heater with a really long extension cord.
Right, like a final destination moment.
But I have a small dog, and I had to put her in her down small dog outfit and then shove her to the bottom of my 0-degree sleeping bag. And when we woke up in the morning, my eyebrows had ice on them. So,
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
yeah, I felt pretty. Like I felt
Yeah,
like I
rugged.
kinda summited Everest.
Well, it is.
Right.
It is.
You did. You
Absolutely
did.
an achievement because I could not do that.
Everest is overrated.
Yeah, I
in my
think so, too.
opinion.
Yeah.
yeah. It seems dirty up there.
It
Well, there's a
is
lot of dead
dead
bodies.
people. Yeah.
I saw a video of them sliding down the hill
well, also
mountain
Mountain.
as they're climbing up, but I don't know if that was a fake video or not.
Well, that's how you get down a lot of times. Is you
Oh,
put the
but they said it was like dead bodies.
Down the mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They went up. This year was like a big deal because they went up and they got a bunch of the bodies.
That's probably what I watched.
Because they also have no trash cans, so they're just like they're just kind of like digging a
Waste up
hole,
there.
going
Yeah.
in the hole.
Well, it is 28,000 feet in the sky.
How are you going to get the trash up there?
But if there's so many
not a
people up
trail.
there, you can put a trash can.
There's a
up
lot
there.
of oxygen tanks. There's that.
See, that's silly. It's like we're all just tearing it up.
We're just
for fun.
littering at
Yeah.
the top of
Do
the
you
mountain.
have that in you to be like, I need to climb a mountain?
'Cause you
I
do
kinda-
seem
I
masculine
kinda-
intensity
energy
that I would see that.
I
about
kind of
you.
want to climb Everest just for some like weird male kind of like drive inside of my body. I don't know what
Right.
it is.
I
But
don't know what
lots
that
of
is because I don't think I don't have.
Oh,
I don't have
it.
that. I
would
don't have the
never
bungee jumping.
Jump out of a plane.
Plane,
never.
no.
I'm like, it's hard enough going to the gynecologist. That's fucking scary. I'm
Right.
not gonna go out of a plane.
or doing your
Okay?
day to day life errands.
Well, it's
Yeah.
so
Like
weird
it.
because I'm like, I'll be like nervous to fly, and then I'll go like to some third world country and go on their like public transportation, which is
Right.
like a 11-year-old driving a bus through the mountains.
Right. I've done that with like in Ecuador where you go on, forget what they call them, like a gondola, sky gondola. And then you get on the other side and it's just a guy just doing this to get you across. And you're like, that's insane that we just did
And then
that.
I'm like,
like
nervous that there's
steampunk.
bumps on the multi-million-dollar corporation's jet, you know. So I have a lot of misplaced fears, but yeah, I don't know if I want to. I don't like things that formal. Like you have to train for Everest, and then you have to. It's
How
like
do you train for Everest?
Well, you have to get used to the altitude. You have to get used to climbing ice.
I feel like you
get used
climb
to-
other smaller mountains and then you kind of become a climber person and that's your whole world. And it's like people
Yeah.
that are really into ultimate frisbee. You know, you like develop
There
a circle
definitely-
of friends.
There's a frisbee in every single
You talk
vehicle.
about it. Yeah.
I have a frisbee in my vehicle at all times.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
175 gram. Ultimate professional grade.
It does seem fun. I can't throw a frisbee. It's the spazziest thing you'll ever see me.
Well,
do.
I'm
much
not
pressure.
great at it, and I'm actually awful at throwing a baseball. And I told your husband this, but he like had one of those park hangs.
He holds that against men big time.
Yeah.
This is probably toxic masculinity
It felt
quality
really-
that he has. He's from Boston, so it kind of.
I was like playing catch, and I was like, I'm bad. And then like somebody like handed Louis his glove, and so it's like one of my comedy heroes is now
Right.
playing catch, and I'm just angering him. He's just so disappointed in me. So it's like father shame, comedy shame.
You should have just started
Male
doing your
shame.
set. Right.
Right.
Hey, I'm working on something.
Or made them play the sport that you know.
Yeah, soccer,
Soccer.
football, the beautiful game.
Yeah,
beautiful
pickleball.
I know. Oh, I was looking into pickleball for Vail.
Yeah, there's a whole court right over
I'd
here.
play some altitude
Anybody down?
pickleball. Altitude pickleball.
Yeah, that sounds like fun to
Please.
me.
In this getup,
You're ready.
I'm out there.
Yeah, you look ready for Vail.
Thank
Once
you.
you put the mesh back on, and then do you have yoga pants on?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're set.
I am feeling limber.
You should be in a Rivian drinking a matcha.
Yeah, well, I was thinking I might go for a hike after this. I might go hiking around.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we'll see. Or a walk.
Right.
Which is a hike to me.
I do always have a fear. One time I chose a trail when we were in Maine, and then it only took us to, it was like a football field length. And then we ended up back up on the main road again. That I was like, I felt embarrassed.
It's hard when you do that, or you choose a long one and you're like, wow, we've been out here a while. It's a 7-mile trail, and then you get there and you have to go 7 miles back. It's
Right.
dark.
You didn't anticipate that, and you're like, fuck.
Are you a nature person, Andy? Do you
I'm a nature boy, yeah. It's really hard for me in New York because I have a car, so I drive all the time up there.
Yeah.
There's a place called Harriman State Park.
Oh, I've never been.
Yeah, you just hike up there.
That's nice.
You can take the train there, take the Metro North.
Oh.
There's a stop at the trailhead.
Sarah, you went to Shenandoah recently.
Yes.
I forgot to ask you about that. How was it?
We didn't. Now with the baby, it's hard to hike.
Do you guys have the backpack?
No, I've thought about it, but I'm tired of buying
can borrow
equipment. Oh, thank you. Because like that, I feel like when you have a baby, you just keep buying stuff that you use for 1 week, and it's $300.
Yeah.
That I was like, I do like to hike, but I just don't want to keep like hoarding stuff that I only use once or twice.
It's
Yeah.
also like they're so big now. It's actually really hard.
Right.
Yeah.
To have like 30 pounds on your back.
It'd be good training for Everest, though.
That would be. I don't.
You take your back out. You're like, great, now I'm ready. Now that I've slipped a disc.
Joe and I have talked. We think hanging out at base camp at Everest is more fun.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
it.
God.
Yeah.
like
Find me
we
the
would just
base
go to
camp.
Everest and hang out at the bottom and cheer
That's what a
people
lot of.
on.
I think that's what actually most people do is they hike to base camp.
Okay.
Set up a shop.
That feels doable,
Right?
But also, a lot of the people that climb Everest now are just like the uber wealthy, and they just have Sherpas essentially carry them to the top.
Really
some of the
living it
mountain
up.
people know
In
this.
like a
It's true.
palanquin just going.
They
That's
literally
wild.
they will hike for like 100 yards, and they won't have any of their equipment. All their equipment will be on a Sherpa's back, and then
Wow.
when they get too tired, the Sherpa literally will like sometimes like hoist them and things like that. Because it's like Jeff Bezos, like that.
Right.
He's very small. He's very slight.
Yeah.
He's trying to bulk up, but he's still a teeny guy.
I think I would just take a helicopter up there. And
Right.
I'd just be like, all right, set me
Right.
down. I've summited.
Yeah, I picture that with like billionaire hunting, where they're just in a helicopter and they just spray
That's what my
a whole field
that's
of
what my in-laws do.
antelope down, and they're like, "We did it."
My in-laws
Yeah.
like go into these towers and then they like scare hogs, like boars.
Right.
And then the boars have to like run past them. And I'm like, you're not that good of a hunter. Like you just
Right. You feel like there should be a
Tricky pig.
skill set of like whatever they call it, the crosshairs, and
Yeah.
sitting for hours just to nip it in the neck or something.
Yeah.
But to just like, I don't know, spray a whole herd of boars just doesn't
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
like
I
technical.
would never go hunting. I would fire a gun, but just the sitting.
Right, the waiting.
Ah, the
Katie and I were talking about that because when I travel by myself, I get nervous about like getting murdered in my hotel room. But then I think to myself, what psycho would lie under a bed for 12 hours
Right.
waiting for me? I would be so bored.
Yeah, you deserve to kill me then.
Yeah.
If you care that much, take my life. Because when are you going to die better than that?
Right.
Right.
You
What am I
earned
going to
it.
like fall off a cliff or something? Like,
Exactly.
let me go. I also have fear in the hotels, especially these hotels. The one that I'm staying in, the Christiana, it's very beautiful. Don't go there. But it's very beautiful. But the vibe in there is like The Shining. And we were doing the podcast yesterday, and there was kind of like no one in there. And I was like, is this is like the movie where he's like
Right.
he's like in the ballroom with everyone, and you're like dancing around, and then it's like there's no one there, and we're just podcasting to no one, and it's
you
just
get
us.
the video and you thought that you were like there was like hundreds of people in the audience,
And we're
then you
killing.
look at it, and it's just you two laughing hysterically for nobody.
With no microphones,
Yeah.
and we don't have any recording equipment. We're just talking to
Which
the
is
air.
us hanging out. Actually,
It
we're
really
just
is.
cracking ourselves up.
Do you ever worry about, as a male traveling
Do you get
the
scared?
road, do you ever get scared?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, there's definitely like I've been in shady hotel situations.
Right,
where-
like the door to the freeway situation.
Well, like I remember one time I went to this hotel. There was no reason I should have been afraid of it, but like I went to a hotel and it was like Youngstown, Ohio, and everybody
that's
else
a tough
in
Isn't
town.
there a song about
Tough
that?
town.
There's probably a lot of songs about it. It's like Rust Belt, everything
Right.
everything
Yeah.
went wrong
Yes.
type of town. Lots of fentanyl.
It's the Detroit of Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody else at the hotel lived at the hotel full time.
Okay, that's a good sign.
It was a pretty methy vibe. And I
I've
was
been,
kinda like,
I've stayed in one of
"Oh,
those kind of.
I don't really want to be here very much.
Yeah, you can't like venture out, but then nor is your hotel room like fun to be in.
You know when you stay at that level of hotel and you're just like the sheets are clean, but it's not.
But
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
they don't clean the comforter.
I know.
I know that part of the hotel.
That's why I just spread my body right on it, right when I
That's what
get
I
in there,
do.
just to make a snow angel. The worst hotel I ever stayed at, well, I was staying at Airbnbs when I was doing colleges a lot. I would just stay at Airbnbs because it was cheaper and it was just more convenient. And I remember I showed up at one and it was above a laundromat. That was my first red flag. And it smelled like cat pee, which I told this story later. And someone was like, that's how it smells when people are making meth.
Ooh.
It smells like cat pee. And the woman that was like running it was like, oh, here, she takes me upstairs to this like a rickety apartment, which was strange, but fine. But she came in and she was showing me, this was in Gettysburg. So she was showing me like a field where a bunch of people died in the Battle of Gettysburg, I guess. And
You're doing the University of Gettysburg?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was doing a show that night and she was like, I read about your show in the paper and I'm going to come. And I was like, it wasn't in the paper. It's just for the students. Like,
Right.
She was out of her mind. And I tried to get my rental car I couldn't leave because I couldn't return my rental car till the next day and I didn't want to park it on the street. So I just remember I just stayed in this weird little hotel and just slept like this with my eyes open. It was terrifying.
Oh yeah, it's I know I've had moments like that where you're like, what am I doing? And then I'm just doing a show for 5 people later that night.
Oh, right. I'm like, this was
It's not worth it to me.
I always-
risking my life.
I always think about that, like about with like planes, like if I die in a plane crash and like my daughter has to know that I was going to like the Chuckle Hut in Peoria. It's like nothing honorable. It's like I had to go make $1,200 in
Giggles.
Wichita, Kansas.
I feel like that's when after having a kid, now everything I do, I'm like, is this worth,
Totally.
is entertaining 5 people?
Worth damaging my baby.
Yeah, my daughter has started like I'll be going to shows and she'll be like, Daddy, no. And I'm like, what am I? I'm going to complain about my wife on stage for strangers.
Right. When you could just do that online from
could-
the comfort of your
yeah.
home. now.
Yeah, you
I
could
could just-
still do it.
Which I
Mine's
do
my
now.
Get on Reddit.
Yeah, my
Let it-
anti-circumcision group and just complain.
Yeah.
Nobody gets me.
Guys.
Now, what's the word? Have you had a really bad Airbnb situation when you travel or any like weird?
I mean, I used to travel a lot in like Central and South America, and I would.
You do
lots of-
travel a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I like to travel, and I stayed in a bunch of kind of spooky hostels.
Okay.
Definitely ones like I remember one time. These guys just like we were all stoned, and we were like sitting in hammocks in our room. Our room had hammocks in it.
That's pretty
And-
cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was in
Yeah.
Guatemala, and then these guys just came to the door, and they had machetes, and they were kind of just like scoping us out, and we were just stoned, and we kind of just stared at each other for a while, and then they just like walked away and muttered something in Spanish.
Right.
But I've never had like the owner of the Airbnb like
Yeah, what's worse?
Coming
Somebody
into
talking-
your room and telling a tale from the Civil War and refusing to leave. I was like, well, bye-bye. She was
Yeah.
like, and over here.
well, at least it was a woman. I think that
Yeah.
you know it'd be creepy if it was like a guy. That's always guys just don't have that problem, you know.
Yeah. I think women are just, and also I look nice. That's a problem, but I'm a
Right.
raging bitch. So.
Yeah, because
watch
I
out,
remember
watch
staring. I stayed at an Airbnb. Like it was in New Orleans, and I was doing a string from Lafayette to New Orleans, and it was again the show was for 10 people. So I'm lying on an air mattress in an Airbnb. It's not even Airbnb. It was his room, the booker's room, and he was gone for the weekend.
Was this
He's-
in New Orleans?
Yeah, it was in New
Sports drink?
Orleans. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But I never went to other areas of the apartment. And he was like, my roommate's going to be there, but don't worry. you won't really run into him. And I didn't because I stayed in my room, but he just played like movies that were like war movies on full volume.
Just watching Jarhead.
Right.
It's so funny because comedy, like, there's like a certain level of comedy where like the club is like, we sent a car for you and you're staying at the Westin. And then there's like another level of comedy and they're not that far apart.
No, you can have one weekend that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend's
like, your hotel is my house.
You'll be living with my roommate.
Yeah, I've had some of those. I stayed at a certain club, or I worked at a club in like Spokane where you like stayed in the back house of his house.
Yes.
And it wasn't like nice at all. It was very shacky.
Because some B&Bs that they set up, like the Denver Comedy Works, that B&B is amazing.
Oh,
Especially-
yes.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's cool and sexy.
Yes.
Oh my God. And there's art in there. You're like, whoa, this is what I would be like if I was interesting. and had
Exactly.
time
Yes.
And money. I'd just be collecting pieces.
You'd have a novelty size Connect 4.
yeah, she'd be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the
a
movie
giant
Big.
arcade game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where's your favorite place you've ever traveled? Do you have like a top 3 countries you've been to? I know
Yeah.
you like London and you lived there briefly.
I love London, but I would say like Rio is pretty phenomenal.
Wow.
I really like going to places where they're not interested that I'm American.
Okay.
That's like a big thing. Because when you go around a lot of the third world, you like go into these towns and they're like, whoa, you're here kind of thing. And I never liked that feeling because it just felt like I was like a creepy tourist kind of thing.
Yeah.
I liked Rio a lot. I liked, my very favorite place I've ever been is the south of France by Marseille. There's this place called the Calanques.
Ooh.
Which is
the
like
Calanques.
Yeah, you stay in Cassis, and Cassis is like creme de cassis.
Okay.
The liquor
Oh,
I'm
store.
aware of that.
Creme de
Yeah.
cassis, yeah.
Yeah. I had
And
it.
you,
How cool.
you hike into this national park, the Calanques National Park, and there's these giant fingers that like the park's like shaped like that, and every space, I don't know what you would call that, fjord,
Oh, okay. It's
is like turquoise blue water.
Oh, wow.
With like 25 topless Moroccan women bathing on the rocks.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
Hello.
It was pretty awesome. Except that trip, this really did happen. I was on that trip and I was doing like an eat, pray, love, getting out of like a very toxic relationship. And the toxic relationship girlfriend was also in the same exact location.
How did that happen?
Oh,
Because she
I love
recommended
that.
the place
Okay.
before we broke up. And
Like forgetting Sarah Marshall.
yeah, it was like months beforehand. And then,
So did you run into her?
yes, sexually.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, whoopsie.
Oops.
Yeah. Eat, pray, love. You're eating something.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't as therapeutic. It was kind of this is so embarrassing, but I'll tell you guys. We like met up she was like staying in a villa. I was staying in a hostel in which a bat flew into the room.
They say that bats are like, if a bat's in your room, you should just assume that
you've been bitten and go get a rabies
Yeah.
shot.
Really?
Yeah,
Good
they
to
say
know. I didn't know that. I think I would have just kept going.
because their bites aren't painful.
Right.
So if you ever find a bat in your apartment, go to the hospital.
No, it's like they're not painful. They're just cute.
They are kind of
tickle.
cute.
They're
Yeah.
vampires.
Yeah.
But so that I met up with her at this like villa that she was staying at with all of her wealthy New York friends. And then the next night or two later, I was like, we should meet up again. And she stood me up and I had a little Peugeot and I drove back
Okay, car.
sadly to my hostel listening to Bonnie Raitt's I Can't Make You Love Me or whatever. Just in the French countryside, blasting Bonnie Raitt. Pretty romantic.
Oh my God, I love that. It's such a bummer when you are vacationing. I mean, we've talked about this. This is one of our current, like our constant themes on here is like traveling alone and how you always kind of live in a delusion that it's going to be like so wonderful. And then this hard reality hits and you're like,
Yeah.
I am by myself. I am blasting music. I'm in a dark place.
Well, it's also not fun to do it. I don't know if you agree with this or if the audience agrees, but when you're married, it's not as fun because the fun thing about traveling alone is you meet people, you go out, you have a little tryst, you know.
See, I was always the opposite where I've done traveling by myself and it feels like, I don't know if this is the right analogy, but I'm like, it doesn't really feel like I'm doing anything if I'm not sharing it with somebody.
Yeah, that's a little bit of it. That's why I think you meet up with people.
Right.
You know?
But I was never outgoing enough by being like a single girl to meet up with.
I know, same. I think I'm too shy where it's like I can't sit at a bar next to someone and be like, well, hello.
Right.
Where are you in from?
That sure smells good.
Yeah.
And then spark up a conversation.
Because 2 minutes in, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I have to go. I'm leaving the bar now. I don't know who you are.
And I don't know where this is going. And then I'm also such a people pleaser that I would probably
Just go back to the room with them. Just kill me. Just kill me.
Yeah. Well, I traveled by myself when I was 19. I think, I just turned 19 and I went to live in England by myself. And then I went to Germany to visit my friend. And this was before cell phones and smartphones, really. Yeah. And I'm like amazed how I got to any of these places, like Cambridge from the Heathrow or whatever. I don't know. You're just like, you just figure it out. But a lot of it was like, I was a 19-year-old woman and there would always be some guy
leering
that would help me. And I always got the sweet spot before you get murdered. Yeah. Like I remember I was on a train on the way to Germany and I sat in the first class section and I didn't know that. Cause it didn't. And then this guy was really nice. He's like, you can sit next to me. And then we just train smoked the whole time.
You could smoke on the train?
Yes.
Cigarettes are disgusting,
so
but
fun.
there is
I love
nothing better
smoking.
than when you could smoke indoors. I hated the way you smelled the next morning.
Right. But it was really, you could smoke on an airplane in the 90s.
Yeah.
International flights.
Wow. On international? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's funny because you go into the bathrooms now and there's like a no cigarettes and also like I was on my flight here and it said don't put lit cigarettes in the trash. And I was like, I can't even imagine that problem.
How old is this plane? That's concerning.
Yes.
Get a new plane, Delta.
There'd be, I remember ashtrays would be on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
the little
armrest.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Just somebody smoking a cigarette next to you?
It blows my mind even back then to be smoking on a plane. Because it's such a death trap anyway, but just to have 20 people ripping butts in the back is wild.
And nobody's fighting in hand-to-hand combat like they are now.
Well, the funniest thing also is that they used to have smoking sections.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't going to affect you.
It was just a curtain.
Yeah.
It was just a curtain that would separate from
the DC Improv
rest.
had a smoking section when I worked there when I was like 24.
Yeah.
And it was just one part of the room. But people would be like chain smoking and the other side of the room is like 10 feet away.
Right.
Like,
it didn't make a difference
They're
whatsoever.
also getting cigarettes.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on vapes?
They are detestable and embarrassing, and I have one.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't gone down that
And I'm
path, and I
actively-
do love smoking.
I'm
but
actively
I can't.
trying not to do it.
I
Right.
tried one recently. I don't think I've ever even done one. And my friend had one recently. We were out for a night and I was trying it. And it's like just this crazy little thing. I was like, this is fun. This is so
sometimes
The
fun.
problem
the
with
way
them is
people
they're
do it.
delicious. And they
What's your
also-
favorite oil?
Oil?
Or like flavor?
Cedar.
Cedar.
No, I'm
Okay.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's for
manly.
aromatherapy.
So manly. Yeah.
I don't know, something like so embarrassing. I also have a joke about this, about how it's going to be so embarrassing when I die from vaping, because it's going to be like my blueberry cream donut swirl killed
Yeah.
me. You know?
Daddy just loved his blueberry donut cream swirls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a more manly death to just go out of lung cancer
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a Marlboro.
On your horse.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to die. Vaping on my electrical horse.
Yeah, on your e-bike. Yeah.
They should have that as an ad for vapes. Like instead of the Marble Man, it's the Vape Man. And he's just like on his electric
Joe
horse.
Vape, like Joe Camel.
Yeah, he's wearing a Uniqlo sweater.
Yeah.
Now, are you a cigar guy at all?
No, I can't. I never got into cigars. I think tobacco tastes pretty awful. I mean, I liked it when I smoked.
There's so
Right.
many different variations that it's just mind-boggling. It's like also the dip. Who's that for? My goodness, that's the hardest.
Yeah.
That's the hardest of the.
I also think I am allergic to like a certain level of masculinity, like, and cigar guys.
I think a lot of guys are.
Yeah, but all the cigar guys
Because a
are
lot of
like,
it's bad.
I just closed 6 figures and my parlay landed and then my wife's a bitch. And you're like, all right, well, I can't relate to this.
Right. Where's the soft cigar guys?
Yeah, I had a breakthrough in therapy and there's a soft cigar guy over here.
Oh, well.
Hello,
Shout out
sir.
Soft Cigar.
Thank you for being here. Well,
What
I
does
will
that
say,
lounge look like?
My husband smokes cigars only every now and then, and
As
he
does
likes
yours.
them.
Yes, Joe
And
loves them.
And he's a pretty, like, I wouldn't call him soft. I mean, he'll fight a man in the street.
He's
for
Italian.
my honor.
He's an Italian
He's an Italian
man.
guy, but he's very like not a traditional Italian guy in the sense that like he's very spiritual and very into and he's very into health.
Yeah, he's
you know?
evolved. You have an
He's
evolved
involved.
Italian.
Yes.
He's very involved. So I feel like he's kind of a soft cigar guy. Like he's a sensitive. He's in touch with his, emotions.
Right. I would categorize Joe as a hard cigar guy.
Yeah, his entire cigar smoking buddy group.
But it gets harder because then there's the Bobby Kellys.
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
I couldn't
Joe's
do
like
that.
a grade, I think, below
Like
that.
I could smoke a cigar with Joe and Mike, but like Bobby Kelly and Verzi and those people, I would just be like, I'd start like making.
You have to yell.
I'd be like making them drinks.
Right.
I'd just like, sorry, you guys.
Yes.
Can I do something for you? I'd put on an apron just instinctually. Like, sorry, I'll
Right.
take
You're
care
just
of
standing
this.
behind them the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as we're wrapping up here, we've got 5 more minutes.
Okay.
I want to ask you, Andy, like, what's your journey that you're on? Are you into anything at the moment that's kind of like consumed you? Are you on a path to a new identity?
Self-improvement that you think your life will
Lifestyle.
change, but it won't.
And it never
It never does.
Never does.
But you
Well,
think it will.
So that's it. I think I am in a place of acceptance lately, like a much
That's a good
more
place.
like I'm like because I've been going to therapy since I was 7
wow.
and I'm 42.
How many breakthroughs have you had?
Very few. You think-
It's your mom.
yeah,
It's your mom.
No, it's definitely my mom. But it's like I think I'm just kind of getting comfortable being myself, which is very annoying because I'm 42 and it's just like I would have loved this at 32.
Right. It would have been a lot more. Occasionally you meet a 20-year-old that just knows who they are and it rocks you.
It rocks you. You're like, I now I'm in a bad
You're
place.
my dad. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, like
weird.
I got sober and then like around that time Macklemore got sober and Macklemore became like the world's #1 recording artist and hosted SNL. I went to high school with Macklemore. That's the only reason.
Oh,
this
that
is
makes
relevant.
sense. I was like, why are you comparing yourself?
No. I don't compare
Andy,
myself to
stop
Macklemore.
doing that.
Yeah. Andy also raps. He
But,
raps.
yeah. You guys can come to the show later on. It's at a high school house party. But I got sober and he just became like wildly successful. And then I like lost work and I was like,
Right.
wait a second. This was not the deal. I got sober so that I could be famous.
Right. I had the same because we're both sober people. Once I got sober, I was like, here it
Yeah.
comes.
Here's
And it's never arrived. But when I do a gratitude list, I'm like, but it's only because I've been on the coattails of my husband
But it's
situation.
Also, there are people that I think that we know in comedians that get sober and then that was the thing that was holding them back.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they go
Mine
on
was
a
actually
path to
helping me.
success.
Mine, mine was.
I had that with
People liked me when I
Mulaney.
was
Yeah,
high.
that's like the true fact that like you're like, damn it, I'm just more fun when I'm completely fucked up.
Right. Well, I kind of had that with Mulaney where I was like, wait, you were successful the whole time you were doing cocaine.
So-
Yeah.
And then I was
everything.
like, should I be doing cocaine?
Yeah.
I think because people said Aspen is very successful and they said that's the
Right.
cocaine town.
I know. It's like I'm just get
It's not
on
that
fentanyl.
far. It's like 2
Yeah.
hours away. Fentanyl, you're not going to get any. I'm going to be honest. That's not a recipe. You will be
You
chill.
go to sleep. You
Yeah.
go to sleep.
So,
But-
okay, yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, God. I
Your
had a thought.
acceptance. Your acceptance.
Oh, yeah. Because we all have done comedy long enough that we have friends that are multiple millionaires and they have everything.
Taking private helicopters to the airport,
Yeah.
which is
Private
insane.
jets.
I've
Private jets.
flown in private jets with a few of the guys that I booked
Yeah.
before. And I always had this thing where it was like, I want, I don't need to be happy. I just want money. Cause I'm poor and also unhappy, so I'd rather just be wealthy and unhappy.
Yes.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's just, if you've met a really rich person,
That's a
their
good spiritual
unhappiness is not that bad.
No.
Yeah.
They're like depressed, but they're like in a private jet. So you're like, oh.
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel better.
And
when
they
you
kind of adapt a personality like the dad on Succession, where they're like, happiness is for fools, you know?
Right.
Like,
They've had their own acceptance.
but after being around those people long enough and some of them being like very miserable despite all their success.
They still are, and they still get like jealousy.
Of like the weirdest
Like you think
shit.
being at the top echelon that you're like, I did it. But then there's always one other guy kind of right next to you.
Yeah, I have a friend
Yeah.
who drives a race car.
Yeah.
Like he literally has a race car in his garage that has multiple cars in it. And he was complaining about another famous comic selling more tickets. And I was like, you have a race car. Like this
I
is
know,
what little
shut
boys
up.
dream of.
Right.
Yeah.
You could literally sleep in a race car. Like not even a race car bed. You could just
I feel like
fall asleep. But
Yes.
now I think I've reached a place where when I have a night off, and I, like you, I've been very fortunate. I don't know if you said this, so I don't want to put this in your mouth, but I've been very fortunate that my partner is so successful that it gives me a little space to breathe.
yes, but I still live in the mindset of I make no money.
No, of course.
So when we talked about this, where I'm like, when as not the breadwinner, when can how much of their money can I spend and it's appropriate?
Yeah.
Well, I
Is
don't.
the question I wanted.
I say it's half. I say it's half.
I don't spend a lot of the money because I have a huge hang up about being the male being supported.
Right.
So
Yeah, that
I'll let
makes
her
sense.
like pick up things that are like nanny or things like that.
Yeah.
I'll like work to make extra. But anyways, that doesn't matter. The
Right.
main thing is that I have an apartment in New York that's pretty nice, and I have this daughter, and I'll have like a night where I don't have shows, and I'll just be like playing with her.
Yeah, and that's
I'll be like,
amazing.
this is so much like I don't know if I could say it's as fun as performing in a giant theater full of people that love you, but
I get more fulfillment.
but also it's like more real. Like
Yes.
this thing of like holding ourselves up to be like where you're like, oh, I can't rest until I'm there, and it's like no, like I'm pretty stoked on life, and I also think that it makes all that other stuff more attainable if I'm in this headspace.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, yes,
absolutely.
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
It's kind of in the world of the art of not giving a fuck.
Yes.
And I feel like I had that last night. I was waiting for my pizza, and then this guy next to me, he's like, oh, it's so, he was kind of drunk. He's like, so weird. Those girls were like, what's up? Said something about you being blonde, and then you turned back. And he made it seem like they were talking shit about me. And I just was like, oh, I don't care. They can have as much fun they want talking shit about me. Like,
And my blonde hair.
what does that matter to me? I'm sure that wasn't the situation, but I felt it's in that place of being like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And that's like a
nice.
liberating place to be.
Truly.
I
Yeah.
think.
It's freedom.
Yeah.
I
And
need
on
to
that
get another
note-
hair transplant.
Yeah.
but,
Oh, yeah.
other than
Then
that,
you'll
yeah.
finally be able to rest.
That's the only thing that's holding me back.
Well, Andy, can you share where everyone can find you if you're promoting anything right now?
I have a travel show that I'm really happy about. That's like a comedy kind of half narrative kind of travel show where I'm following a narrative, but nobody else in the world that I'm going to is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Borat meets Bourdain.
Okay.
No production
Very
quality.
buzzy.
But that's going to be on my YouTube, so I'd love it if you went to subscribe to that. And then I'm just on I'm
your-
Andy Haynes on everything.
Just Andy Haynes is your YouTube channel?
YouTube is just Andy Haynes, but everything else is I'm Andy Haynes.
Gotcha.
Annoyingly.
Amazing. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us at the Lady Journey live taping. And I want to just let you know that we do have merch available. We have Lady Journey lip balms. They're $10. You can do cash or Venmo. We'll be over there. We have peppermint, strawberry, and vanilla. And we appreciate you guys coming, and
Yeah.
we'll see you around at the festival.
Thank you.
Lady Journey.